So let me tell you the story. Here's what happened. The guy that I work for is a young, progressive gynecologist, and he thought it'd be a great service for his patients, especially first-time expectant mothers who had some concerns, to be able to contact him even after hours. And we decided to purchase a MacBook Pro, and we decided to purchase it online. Came in the mail, I think, on Thursday. We both had 15-inch MacBook Pros, and we were looking for a cool casing. So we went to the Apple store at Aventura Mall to see if they had any more of a selection. Every time we walk in the store as African American men, the security guard follows us around the store as if we've stolen something. I was offended by that. It's always the same thing at this store. So went to the mall, valet parked the car, went in the store. There she was, Kelly was the manager. And my boss, he was on the phone with a patient. He's calling the hospital. And he came in and he said, hey, you know, he had ordered his laptop online. He didn't get one of these nifty little Apple bags. So he wanted one of these bags. He also was going to purchase a case. So I was speaking to an employee there about the cases that they had. My boss was on the phone with his patient. He walked up to the counter and he said, hey, can I have one of these bags? And the employee there said, sure you can. Kelly, the senior manager, she berates the employee in front of my boss, and she says, no, you cannot have a bag. No, he cannot have a bag. And no, and she was really, really rude. Amazingly rude. And he said, can I have your name and your manager's phone number? And she gives him her business card. They only had 2 colors. And so my boss sits at the table and with me, and he says, okay, I'll take the black one. You give him his credit card and he says, I'll take the black one. And Kelly comes over and she says, no, you will not take his card. We cannot take your card, sir. Really abrasive. We cannot take your card. We have to do it right in front of you. So he said, you know what, dude? Let me go to the counter, give you my card. And as an African-American man, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, now, if I wasn't a black man with locks, if I wasn't 6'4" and she felt threatened, would she even be as rude and abrasive to us? If all of this was completely different, if I was an Hispanic man, if I was a Jewish woman, if I was white, would I be talked to and treated this way? I don't think so. In fact, I know I wouldn't be. I don't think so at all. She was rude. And I said, you know what, dude? I said, she's racist. She's racist. As quick as I said that, 2 security guards came, the store security guard, and they said, we're going to ask you to leave. And I said, are you serious? Our incident may have taken 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Maybe we were at the Apple store. Why are you asking us to leave? Well, this is private property, and we can ask you to leave at any point. I said, so again, I'm asking you, why are you asking me to leave? And I said, if you touch me, I will sue you. So do not touch me. We're asking you to leave. So this time, the number of mall security had multiplied. I think it was 4 at this point. And we are still in the Apple store. We're still having a conversation. I said, you know what? She's racist. And you are escorting me out, and it's taken all of this brute force to escort us out because you're threatened by us and we're black men. And it doesn't help that we have locks. So we walk outside the Apple store. Officer Gomez made it a point to try to agitate me, to try to get me to react. Because I had specifically told him, if you touch me, Officer Gomez, I will sue you. So he made it his mission to find a reason to agitate me and to escalate the incident. By the time we walked out of the Apple store, there were security guards on the 2nd floor. There were hundreds of people watching. Mind you, we're still talking about a 4-minute incident, an incident that took 4 minutes. And there were armed police. In our face. I work for a doctor, a young African-American doctor, graduated from Johns Hopkins and Wayne State University. I am his assistant. I write grants for a living. Our friend was with, um, in my mind, I thought Apple was a progressive, cutting edge, innovative company. But Apple, you know, has pockets of racism. You know, we're in a recession right now. There are a lot of good people out there, well-educated, talented people out there looking for a job, and for companies to maintain employees that have horrible customer service and I dare say are racist, um, is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. This is Black History Month. You know, I think the officer began to negate what I was saying by saying, you know what, I'm Hispanic and I've had experiences like this. It's not the same. One of the police officers was Jewish. Hey, I'm Jewish and I've had experiences like this. It's not the same. I'm sorry, this is America. I am an African American man. I am a descendant of slaves in this country. I don't care what your experiences are in this country with being oppressed. They are not the same as being a black man on a daily basis. They're not the same. It doesn't matter how educated you are. You think, okay, education can combat this racism. Well, you know what? I was thrown out of the mall with a doctor who's black. Doesn't matter how educated you are. At the end of the day, if you are a black man in this country, or at the Apple store for sure, then you're considered a threat. And we were thrown out of the store. And consequently, thrown out of the mall. And I am offended, I'm livid, and I think it's shameful that this can happen. What I think should happen, Apple should address this in some way. I will never forget this experience. I will communicate this experience to as many people as often as I can. Maybe this could serve as an educational tool for others. Racism is unacceptable under any circumstance.
I am a young African American doctor, and I was thrown out of the Aventura Mall at the Apple Store in Miami, Florida, because I asked for a plastic bag.